The doctorate program was a horrible experience. I found myself without a job. It makes me feel like I'm not really progressing in how I want to progress. You know, you don't have anyone to kind of share those moments where you are finding it really hard. Hey y'all, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, thank you for staying around. Even if you're new too, I hope you stick around, and just know that this channel is all about good vibes and good energy. As you can see by today's title, I wanted to do a quick video just talking about navigating your life in your 30s, but more around kind of like your purpose and career paths and all that kind of stuff. But before we go into today's video, please give me a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's lit over here, and we always have a good vibe. We are always vibing and thriving. Right, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so navigating life through your 30s. My experience, I think, takes me back to 2021. I'm gonna try and keep this video sweet and short. 2021, I was preparing for my first ever interview in the clinical psychology doctorate program. And if you're in the UK, you know exactly what I mean, especially if you obviously are in the field of psychology or work in the NHS. So 2021, I was preparing for my psychology interview, clinical psychology interview, and basically there's like the NHS funds your training for you, so you essentially work and study for 3 years, and then after that, when you do qualify, obviously you can start to train as a qualified clinical psychologist. That was my whole plan. My plan was to get on the doctorate, work my butt off, graduate, be a doctor, be in a position where I can, in a better position financially also for myself, but also financially for my family as well. And I want to say this, you know, I'm the type of person that I always like to help, and so I unnecessarily put stresses on me that potentially I shouldn't be, but I just don't know how to not put those pressures on me, because I always think about other people too. The doctorate program was a horrible experience for me personally, and I have a separate video, so I'm not going to go into too much details. You can go and watch that video and let me know what you think. Fast forward past 2021, I found myself without a job, and again I did a separate video of that and how life can be very hard navigating through losing your job. That's a separate video. Please go check that out. But this is what my 30s has been. I'm in my early 30s, and so far entering the 30s era has just not been a great experience in terms of things that for me are very important. So one of the things that I just really, you know, I need to know and means a lot to me is understanding what my purpose is, understanding what I'm put here for, like understanding what I need to be doing before, you know, we all finally leave this earth, or I leave this earth. So when I don't know that, or it becomes very blurry and confusing or not quite clear, that really starts to kind of like get me down, because it makes me feel like I'm not really progressing in how I want to progress. I know there are societal standards and guidelines or whatever for people. I try so much not to kind of tap into that. I kind of try and do my own thing, but I have my own expectations for myself. I have my own things that I want to, goals and things I want to achieve, but I'm also my greatest critic. I think it's even much worse than society, to be honest with you, because I'm so hard on myself, and it's only because I know that I have it in me to really be great. It's been really difficult, like I mentioned, my early 30s, navigating kind of like your purpose and trying to understand what that means. Is that tied to, you know, a career choice that you've chosen, or is that completely separate from what it is that you think you're going to be doing? And in my experience so far, I've had moments where I've thought, okay, I'm on the right track, and then completely God's just like done a complete 360 and taken me somewhere else. When I lost my job last year, I had a lot of time, as you can imagine, but what I did was to kind of like look within and start thinking about what it is that I enjoy doing. And I advise everyone who has a similar experience to me to do the same thing as well. Use that time to really go inward and think about who you are as a person, the things that you enjoy doing. Be really honest with yourself, because that's the only way you can start to see some form of direction that isn't just guided by, you know, work. You know, we all have different journeys, we all have different purposes. Some people know that their purpose is in, you know, the 9 to 5 and whatever that looks like in terms of like a professional career. Some people have a mixture of both. Some people are more into the arts and things like that. But having that time on my hand made me just realize what exactly kind of really like ignites that fire inside of me. And I realized that it was poetry. I really enjoy poetry. I enjoy writing poetry. It gives me like a sense of excitement, a sense of calm, a sense of introspection that I don't get anywhere else. And so I threw myself a lot into that because that was what was making me happy and that was what was keeping me going. That, and obviously God, I am Christian, so I would say to all my people out there, if you were ever going through a dark time where you're on your own, because losing my job last year, I was on my own. I had this house by myself, I have this house by myself, and you don't have anyone to kind of share those moments where you are finding it really hard. Some days are good, some days are great, but then some days are really bad. The days that were great was more when I think I was just out in the like poetry or like the art scene and just communicating and meeting new people and getting to know people and just seeing what was going on in the art space or creative art space. That was what really made me happy. But then also, like I mentioned, God, and just like tapping in and praying. It's not going to be easy. Life is never easy. I think we just all need to accept that. But it doesn't mean that hope is completely lost. Navigating through my 30s has not been easy to date. I don't anticipate it getting easier because I know where I want to go with my life and what I want to do. So it's only an uphill battle, but that doesn't mean that the mountain cannot be climbed, y'all. Stay having faith, stay having hope. You will get there. Just stay focused. One thing I would say is just stay focused, keep in your own lane, keep focused on what it is that you want to do. If you are struggling with career, your purpose, all that kind of stuff, one thing I would say is please just take the time to sit with yourself. Sit with yourself, try and see if you can understand who you are as a person. Try and see if you can understand the things that you like, even the things that you don't dislike, because recognizing the things that you don't dislike might lead you to actually recognizing the things that you do like. And that kind of like, keeps you alive or kind of keeps a fire burning in your belly. So I would say just take a deep breath, drink some water. It's not easy. And it's probably not going to be easy for a long time. But I will say this though. It makes you really strong. And I can hand on heart say that I am a very strong person, because sometimes I find myself catching like myself when I'm in deep thought, like thinking about my life and how I've managed things and how I've kind of like healed through certain things versus people who maybe have partners or like they have people to share emotions with. I definitely have learned a lot, and it's definitely made me more resilient. So I am grateful for that experience. So if you're navigating your life through 30s and it's been very difficult for you so far, know that at least you are strengthening yourself mentally, probably spiritually as well, definitely emotionally, and that can only add more value to you as a person, because you change, you look alive differently and you start to move differently, and people will start to see that you're more mature, or like you've gone through a growth experience, and that can only be better for you. So yeah, this is all I wanted to share. Just keep having faith. It's not easy. Life is never easy, but you got this. And my experience of navigating through my 30s, especially when it comes to like career and purpose, hasn't been easy as well. I mentioned 2 videos before, go and check that out. But I'm gonna keep this video quick, sweet and short. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I hope you continue to vibe and thrive wherever you are. And I'm about to say your girl is out. Peace. Mwah.